What up, everybody? Shawn Mack, sports fans only. Gonna be trying a little something different this time. Gonna be going live, as you can see, and we're gonna see what's going on. I'm gonna have a little ticker time, read off some ticker stuff that's going on in sports, and from there, we'll. Oh, that's me going live. Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so we're just gonna shoot the breeze until somebody get in the comment section, and we'll go from there. Let me see. Eagles, Jalen Hurts shoulder certain to play at Dallas this Saturday. Should the Eagles sit Jalen Hurts? I'm gonna say yeah. They probably should sit him. If they win one of the last three games, they automatically get the first seed in the NFC. So, do you really want to play Jalen Hurts and possibly risk an injury that can further hurt your season going forward? Because you're smoking right now. I think you're 11-1 or 12-1. I definitely wouldn't play him, but that's a few that they hate each other. Michael Parson overlooked the Jaguars and started talking a week out of the game about what Dak is. I mean, what Jalen Hurts is and what this is, and to me, it just absolutely made no sense at all to bring up that game against the Eagles, being that you still had to play the Jaguars, and just like I thought, it was a trap game and they lost. So it happens. But I saw that one coming a mile away. That was pretty easy. Let me check my headphones, see how my voice is right now. Mic up, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. All right, that sounds much better. That sounds much better. I'm gonna leave the headphones on and now for now. My voice can go up and go down, so sometimes I like to know it goes with the emotions. But Jalen Hurts, if I was Eagles front office, or if I was the Eagles head coach and I had that decision to make, I would probably say, no, I won't start Jalen Hurts this week against the Cowboys. It just doesn't make any sense. That's just my opinion. But when you have a rivalry game like that, especially in conference game, you're gonna want to play. You're gonna want to win. You're gonna want to have those bragging rights. Let me see. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Jazz 122-99. I tell you, the Cavs, that team, they're the best thing they could have done was keep those young players after trading LeBron, and of course getting Donovan Mitchell, because that worked out tremendously, right? That definitely worked out. So he's doing real well. The 76ers beat the Raptors. It seemed like after that championship with the Raptors, that's probably it for them. They're back to middle of the pack in mediocrity like they've always been before they got Kawhi and went on that little run. But I always felt bad for DeRozan because he left. He tried. He just couldn't get over that hump with LeBron James. Whether he was at Cleveland or he was in Miami, DeRozan just couldn't get over that hump. But I feel bad for him, being that they won a championship, the Raptors, that is, right after DeRozan left. But he went on to Chicago and did some things. He's doing well. I don't think I'll ever see him winning a championship, DeRozan, that is. But unless he's traded to somebody, I don't know, maybe hook up with LeBron in his last times. Maybe they trade Russell Westbrook, try to get DeRozan over there. Or if he somehow wind up at the Golden State Warriors, I could definitely see that turn into a championship. But on the poll, I got the poll up there. I forgot what it was. Let me see what it is. I totally forgot. Um, will the Golden State Warriors make the playoffs this year? At first they started off, they can't win anything on the road, Golden State, that is. And I was just wondering to myself, like, well, how can I say it? I wasn't wondering. I was more thinking like, okay, they have a hangover from the championship and eventually they'll get back on track. But it seems like they never got back on track. And they're brutal. They're horrible on the road. When I mean they're horrible on the road, they're extremely horrible on the road. Now, Steph is out with the shoulder injury. So I don't know what to say about Golden State this year. I kept thinking they would break out of the funk and eventually get back to where they need to be. Everyone has a little everyone has a little championship hangover, except Jordan and those Bulls teams. They went right back at it. But I don't know. Those young guys for Golden State they aren't stepping up like I thought they would. They had to send Wiseman down to the G League for a while. He's back up now, but I don't know if he can be what they need. Oh, the Suns did destroy the Lakers 130 to 104, but James and Westbrook and Davis didn't play. Once again, Anthony Davis is hurt. He's always hurt. They're so lucky that they had that little span off due to the virus or whatnot. Because I say without that little break in between and they came back months later to go into the bubble, I really don't think that the Lakers would have won that championship because I don't know. He had 2 times to rest in that season for more than 2 months. So that's the only reason they won that championship because they had that break off and AD was good to go with LeBron. But I don't know. The Lakers aren't doing too well either. But back to the Golden State Warriors. Now that time's passed, the year's about to flip. We're about to get to the All-Star break coming up the beginning of the year. Unless something change and they make some type of move, I'm going to say that the Golden State Warriors probably make a play-in game, but it don't seem like they're going to actually make the playoffs this year. I could be wrong. Without a big trade or a big move, I don't see this roster currently constructed as it is actually becoming a gel team to push for a deep playoff run. I just don't see it. I don't know. It's not something that I see happening right now. Gardner Minshew would be the backup to Jalen Hurts. That's what Minshew is. Never knew where he was. Cam Robinson likely out for the season. That's the Jaguars starting left tackle. They have a meniscus injury. But what can you say about the Jaguars? The Jaguars are actually doing well. What they lost their first 5 or first 6. I think they've won like 5 or 6 in a row, maybe, or 7 in a row. Forgive me for not having those stats on hand, but boy, let me tell you something. They did well. They did extremely well. You know, everyone's saying, well, it's Trevor Lawrence maturation process. No, what it boils down to is that you got what was his coach name for Ohio State? I forget his name, but how can I possibly forget his name? I actually have to look it up. So, what was his name? It's Urban Meyer. I didn't even want to have to Google it because it just was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it. But what happened in Jacksonville was they hired Urban Meyer. They really thought that he was going to be a successful NFL coach, but he was coaching these grown men like they were kids and, staying in a town after he lost a game. Then he was seen with this woman at the bar, blah, blah, blah. I don't get into people's personal business, but that's stuff that you just can't do with grown men in the NFL. You can get away with that in the college ranks because you're pretty much the king. Everyone listens to you, but you can't play that game in the NFL. But what I meant was once Urban Meyer came in, he stunted the growth of Trevor Lawrence and ATN. He didn't play well under Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer wasn't a great coach. He wasn't a good coach. Come to find out, he was a super below average coach in the college rank. I mean, in the pro ranks in the NFL. So I think that actually stunted Trevor's growth for that year. But as you can see, as soon as he left, they got my man from used to coach the Eagles, and now they're back on track. I think they're going to be a team to reckon with next year for sure. They're definitely going to make the playoffs next year, barring any significant injuries to Trevor Lawrence or ATM or any of the line. That defense is stout. They will give up some deep passes, but the front of that defense is very good. The back is a little suspect, but they're good as well. And together, they're a cohesive group, and they do well. So look forward to the Jacksonville Jaguars being, I wouldn't say a powerhouse, but they will be in the running for the playoffs for the next maybe 8 years, I'm going to say 6 to 7 years, as long as Trevor Lawrence is there. He's 6'6", 2 something, hard to bring down. Doesn't look that fast, but he's real nimble on his feet. He does real well scrambling outside the pocket. He does real well throwing on the run. Trevor, he's a beast. He's starting to show some of those skills and accolades that he had in college. It's starting to come to fruition in the NFL. Just needed the right coach. You know what I mean? That messes up a lot of people. I always say you can take somebody who's a 5-star recruit, coming out of college. They get put in the wrong position, and then the rest of their career is horrible. That happens in football a lot. In basketball, you kind of can get away with it because, it's all more about you than coaching, even though you need coaching in the NBA. Is true. You do need coaching, but, those players kind of self-patrol themselves, if that makes sense. But you need good to great coaching when it comes to the NFL. So let's see what's going on here. You got the NCAA women's. Gonzaga beat San Diego 70-59. I tell you, the women's college game is so much better than the WNBA, and I'm not sure why. Because the NCAA women's game is just, it holds its value right up there with it just plays well on TV. You can turn off the sound, right? Have a WNBA game here on one TV, and then you can have a NCAA women's game on here. Turn off the sound and just watch it. It's totally, totally different. You understand what I'm saying? College games for the women just pops off the screen. They're not dunking. They're not doing crazy moves and all that, but the pure skill level, for some reason, it just shows and it pops off the screen compared to when you watch a WNBA game. Maybe it's the crowd. You got that college atmosphere with the ladies in college. But for some reason, that WNBA game just doesn't pop. When I'm walking by and I'm trying to watch it and I stand there and I want to get into it, for some reason, I just can't. Don't ask me why, but for some reason, I just can't get into it. I don't know what they can do to fix the WNBA. I have the slightest idea. I tell you this, when it first came out in the mid-90s, I think that was the mid-90s when Swoops and Lisa Leslie, and you had Miller, you had a lot of people out there that was real good. You had my girl from that played for the New York Liberty. That game was popping. That game looked good. It looked real well. It popped off the screen. And for the first, I say 5 years, even though the Comets were dominating, the Houston Comets were dominating, and they were doing their thing and winning multiple championships. I think they won 3 out of the first 5, or maybe 4 out of the first 6. I could be wrong, but I definitely know they got like one of the first 3 championships in the WNBA. It still was holding its own. You had Rebecca Lobo. I wouldn't say it was the star power, because to me, they have just as many stars right now in the WNBA as they did when they first started. But people really cared. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. And God forbid you try to give your opinion on why it's not doing well, because then they just call you, you bashing the league, and you should support the league. But as we all see, that's not a great product to put on the field. On the court. It's just not a great product. I don't know why. Maybe they can take something from the women's college game and try to transfer it over. But I don't know. I just don't know. The Hawks beat the Magic 126-125. Murray fouled Murray 2 field goals. I tell you, Murray coming over from I'm surprised Pop gave him up. Honestly, that probably just shows a lot to what Pop is. I think Pop knew going forward that they was in a rebuilding process. And Popovich was like, okay, he's a star, Murray. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to get you out of here. and I'm gonna let you just do you. I'm gonna let you become the star that you should become and want to become, because you won't be able to do it here as long as we're in a rebuilding process. That's what Pop told him, I think. As long as the Spurs were in the rebuilding process, we might as well let you go. Oh, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 42 points, 12 or 17 from the field goal, 10 rebounds. Did anyone see those stats that Jokic put up not too long ago? I think he had 42, 27, and 10. I think that was the stat line. When I seen the stat line, I was like, what the hell is this? Wilt Chamberlain numbers. That's young Shaq numbers. Boom. Not really. Shaq might have got that maybe once or twice, but wow. 40 something, 20 something rebounds and 10 assists is just ridiculous. Thunder beat the Trailblazers 123 to 120. Leonard, 28 points. Oh, wow. He actually became Portland's all-time leader. That's pretty cool. I feel bad for him, too. He's choosing to stay there and fight the good old fight. But, oh, boy, he probably should have been traded a while ago. He should have asked for a trade a while ago. But I understand what he's doing. He's like, if I could, it kind of breaks down like how, to me, Dirk Nowitzki is Dirk Nowitzki's one championship kind of counts for 2 to 3 because he stayed there with them. He got it in the mud with them. He didn't leave. He got to 2 championships, lost one to Miami with Wade and Bosh and LeBron. But what can I say? I feel kind of bad for Leonard, but for Damian, but he got the money, right? He got the contract. And I don't think anyone did anything to him that he didn't want. He wanted to stay there. Now, one thing I can say is that they're definitely not giving Damian Lillard any type of help there. Once McCollum left, CJ left, it just became a little poop show. And it's just him putting up a lot of points. It's him doing a lot by himself. Tell you the truth, is Matthews still on that team? I don't think so. I can't name anyone that's actually on that team. And that's kind of disturbing when you can't name anyone that's on that team. You know, that's tough. I mean, that's real tough. I can't name one person besides Damian Lillard on that team. And I'm a big sports fan. I consider myself a big sports fan. But why can't I? I don't know. I don't know. But he chose to stay there. So there you go. He got to lie in the bed that he's made. But that bed is filled with millions of dollars. It's a quite comfortable bed. Oh, man. Oh, totally forgot about the game last night. I watched most of it. The Rams and Green Bay. Green Bay pulled it out, but they didn't look quite impressive to me pulling out that win against a hobbled Rams team on both sides of the ball. But Rodgers got the win. They need a lot of help. They need to win out, first of all. Then they need a lot of help to make the playoffs. Will they? I don't think so, but we'll see. I've seen stranger things, especially when it comes down to the last 2 weeks or the last week in the NFL. Anything can happen. But I wonder how the Baker Mayfield people feel. You know, because Baker supposed to be Baker, shake and bake and all that. And he came in and he's only been here for 10 hours and he's got down the playbook. I think they won that game, that first game with Baker because of the unknown, tell you the truth. I think it was the unknown. No one knew what to expect from him. No one knew what to think about him. So it was a little weird, you know what I mean? But once you can game plan for him, he turns into the same old Baker. I mean, the sports hype media was pushing it so much, too. I mean, so much. Like, oh, look at Baker. Look what he's doing. Oh, he's awesome. Oh, I never seen one guy that everyone wants to root for so bad. It's like they really want him to do well. Not saying I don't want him to do well, but it's to the point where They want him to do so well. They see things there that's not really there with him. I think the sample size is good enough. So Green Bay have a 12.2% chance to make the playoffs. Like I said earlier, they need a lot of freaking help to get into that playoffs. My Saints got a win. That was good. That made me feel great. We actually still have a chance to make the playoffs. Now, would I want to make the playoffs? Knowing we probably would be a first round out. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Would I? I don't know. It's just a little tough. I tell you this though. I didn't think you can lose your job due to injuries, but for some reason, Jameis Winston isn't starting anymore. Now you must have to be a horrible teammate, which by all accounts he wasn't, right? But you must be a horrible teammate to come back. And I really believe that with Jameis Winston being healthy, we make the playoffs this year, the Saints. But he got injured. And for some strange reason, they were like, nope, we don't want you back once you come back off your injury. We'd rather stick with Andy Dalton. They're literally sticking with Andy freaking Dalton over Jameis Winston for some strange freaking reason. And I don't know why, and I don't know how they're actually sticking with Andy freaking Dalton over Jameis Winston. Go figure. Back to what I said. He must be a horrible teammate, or he must be doing something real horrible in New Orleans to where people don't even want him there anymore. But yeah, believe it or not, we were people's dark horse to actually go to the championship Super Bowl this year. Can you believe that? People actually, that's how I knew it was all over from the beginning. When the Saints became a dark horse to make it to the Super Bowl, I was like, no, that's no way possible going to happen. We're going to lose now. You can't put expectations on a team like that. They hear it, they hear the expectations. They hear everything. But yeah, what can you do? All you can do is just hope for Drew Brees to come out of retirement. That ain't happening, but you know what I mean. Yeah, what can you do? We're almost back to where we were post Brees. Good. Like, who was that? That was Aaron Brooks. We're good enough, but just not good enough, if you get what I'm saying. So, it's weird, but we're doing our thing. We'll be okay. We got that Super Bowl, and that meant a lot. So, I mean, that goes a long way. I just hope we don't try to ride it for 30 years. We need to get to going. So, we're not going to have a great pick. I'm not sure how many great quarterbacks they have coming out this year of college anyway, but we're doing just well enough not to get a good pick. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me check out some phone stuff. People hit me up. Let me use two hands. Like I'm so messing up with one hand. Just use two hands, boy. But I tell you, let's see. Yeah, we play the Browns. Have y'all noticed that? I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but I've noticed it. When the Browns play on Sundays or whatever day they play, right? I see I see highlights, but I see no highlights of them showing Deshaun Watson. Am I tripping? Did he get hurt again or something? So I don't think he did. But for some reason, they're not showing Deshaun Watson. And I totally understand why they're doing. Would I do it? No, he did what he had to do, right? He's back on the field. He's playing what he has to play. Why aren't they showing him? They're showing stuff from the defense. They're showing stuff from special teams. They're showing a lot of stuff, but they're not showing him, which is just, I don't know. Not sure if I even want to go there this morning, but yeah, let me see so Green Bay is currently 9th in the NFC playoff standing. They improved to 6-8. Oh, 6-8. What does that mean? What does that mean? Jordan Love got to be tired of this. Do you trade Jordan Love? Or do you let Aaron Rodgers keep the organization hostage again? I don't know. I don't know. Seem like they've bought in because I think they gave him a 2-year deal, right? So he still has another year on that deal, if I'm not mistaken. At the beginning of last year, when he did the little holdout thing and didn't want to come to Kent and didn't want to really talk to the front office about anything contractual related, if that makes sense. But who knows? Who knows? You know. Hmm. I must say the Dolphins did look good the other night in Buffalo, even though they lost. They did look good. Can't lie. They looked good. January, late December. I don't know. It didn't look like the weather affected them much, but who's to say? I'm not in their bodies, but as a team overall, it looked like they came to play. It didn't affect them too much. They game plan. I have to say Buffalo did game plan real well for Tyreek Hill, which was which is hard to do, right? The guy has so much speed. He runs his routes so crisp. He runs them well. He runs them like they should be ran, kind of a Jerry Rice type of route runner where it's precise. It's always the same. His hips never move out of position to tip off what he might be doing. And he's extremely fast. And that's something that you just can't, you can't you can game plan for where you think someone might be, but it's hard to replicate that type of speed, the speed of Tyreek Hill actually in practice. So you can prepare all you want. But I have to say, Buffalo did a great job on him. But Tua Tagovailoa, he was looking good. They convinced me that they can play in that type of weather. But on the road in the playoffs in that weather, it's a different beast, right? But especially when you're playing against Buffalo and the Bills Mafia, it's always going to be crazy. But I'm pretty sure they can amp that up a little bit more. Former Reds pitcher Tom Browning dies at 62. Wow, pitcher pitched only perfect game in Reds history in 1988. Was found unresponsive in Union, Kentucky home. Foul play not suspected. Rest in peace to Tom Browning. All right, the Phillies extend GM contract. That's pretty cool, right? Extend this contract. He did well. Got you to the World Series. Didn't win, but he got him there. I think they've been there twice in the last 4 years, 5 years maybe. So that's cool. Flying high, Jalen Hurts. Attempts per average, 8.2, which ranks second. TDs, interception, 22-5, which ranks second. Pass plus rushing TDs, 35 of them things. That's pretty cool. Fourth in the NFL in the QBR, which is ranked fourth. So this is why I say we should sit him. Not we. I'm not an Eagles fan, but if I was part of that organization, I would sit him this week. You have 3 games remaining, I think I said, and you have to win one of those to actually become the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is pretty cool. So maybe I sit him against the Cowboys, maybe come back the next one. I don't know, but I guess it comes down to this to the Eagles. Would you risk playing Jalen Hurts to get this Cowboys win, which would give you the number 1 overall seed, and you would have the whole bragging rights against the Cowboys, right? The bragging rights I'm not too worried about. I'm really worried about that number 1 seed. So if I could rest him up and have him come back the game after the Cowboys, I probably would. And it's a short. Oh, I just realized it's a short week. So you're going to, they're going to be playing Saturday. So you just played Sunday. late game Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, and you're back out there Saturday. So it's not a lot of time for whatever's going wrong with that shoulder to heal. Yeah, I think I have to pull the trigger. I think, yeah, I would have to sit Hurts for this game. Sorry. Especially being that the Cowboys just lost to Jacksonville. So I think I would. They just keep saying shoulder injury. What's wrong with it? Is it a rotator cuff? Is it ligament damage? They say he sprained his shoulder. All right, so a sprained shoulder, not really like a sprained ankle, right? You sprain your ankle, it's a high one, it's a low one. When you sprain your shoulder, usually it's something torn, and they're just using the words as a sprain because maybe they don't want to give up too much information. I don't know. But Minshew will be the backup, and that's dope. Did he shave his mustache yet? Because I love that little mustache he got, Oh, I tell you, watch some of these shows and stuff like that, and I swear it's just Lakers, no matter what, losing or sucking, they're talking about them. The Cowboys and the Eagles, I tell you, they know how to talk about what draws the audience into the they know how can I say it? They know what you want to watch. They know what you want to watch, and they know what's going to draw millions of viewers or this and that, or hundreds of thousands. But to me, it's so like, I'd rather talk about what's going on, like what's good sports, Back to the whole thing I said about Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. If anyone haven't noticed, just notice going forward how they mention the Browns, but they rarely show any footage of what Deshaun Watson did in the game. I could be sadly mistaken. I don't think I've heard it, but maybe he's injured. I don't know. Someone please tell me, why aren't they showing any Deshaun Watson stuff? Is it? I know why. They're like, because a lot of people on some of these platforms, especially the ladies, they're like over irate and just pulling their hair out about him still being able to play, especially Molly. Molly Karam, she can pull her hair out and bang her desk. You can see it turn into the She-Hulk behind Deshaun Watson. So I know if she have anything to do with it, she's like, I'm not mentioning him. I don't want to give him any praise. Yeah, I agree. Jean Renaud. Watson is better than I thought he would be at this time. I think he's 1-1, right? Since he came back, I think he's 1-1. So he's doing better. But I tell you this, I can't find a highlight. I can't find any highlights. I have to go to like YouTube and the NFL highlights to catch, when I get off from work to see what it is, because I'm like, okay, let me just watch some highlights. My audio's in and out. It's better now. Is it better now? Jean Renaud? They say I had a bad connection, but my connection was showing a strong signal, but it be like that sometime. I don't know why. I don't think it's actually the computer. It could be this wire that I have connected through my Uber. How about now? Now you got me feeling self-conscious about my audio. But I can hear me pretty well. Might just be the whole live thing. Can you hear me now? How does it sound? Mic check, mic check. I'm muted and unmute. Mic check, mic check. Yeah. How is it now? You know what? That's true. I never thought about it like that. It might just be on your end. I tell you, got me feeling self-conscious about it. Let me see. If I could rest him up. Yeah, sounds pretty well. I know that's a little conceited watching myself, right? And it's a short. Oh, I just realized it. It's a short week, so yeah. That's good. That's actually good. Oh boy, the Suns in trouble. ESPN allegations of more Suns misconduct. What's going on with all this misconduct and work stuff? Is it new, or is it things that how can I say it? Maybe it was things that's been going on in the workplace, but they just now come into the light because of the day and the time that we live in. Who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's a subject that I try to stay away from. Everybody just need to act like adults, you know? Just act like adults. Treat each other how you would want to be treated. But we live in a weird world now, so how can I say it? We live in a strange world now, stranger things, you know? So just everybody keep their hands to themselves and try to respect each other and treat others as you would want them to treat you. It's life golden rule. That's what we go by, right? I can't believe they're still talking about the Cowboys. It just won't stop. It's other things that's happening, you know, but it kills me. I don't know what's going on. Haywin had all morning to text me. Then people want to start hitting me up when I try to do a little live. As I said, I'm just testing the waters. Yeah, they love the Cowboys. They just, I know you do, Jean Renault. El Jean Renault, I know you do. But like, no matter what they are, let's talk about Dak for a while. As I said, they have this, people questioning is Dak this, is Dak that. Haven't we had enough time to see what he is, right? Which is a serviceable, above average, middle of the pack quarterback that can have a great game and turn around and have a horrible game, which would make you forget that he even had that great game. I'll take it a step further. He can have a great half and then have a bum half like he just did last game. So why do we still feel that the question is out on Dak Prescott? Why? He is what he is. He's Dak Prescott, an average to above average quarterback who's going to make the wrong decision and throw the wrong type of ball and get it picked when it counts. To me, I think that's more of he's the epitome of what the Dallas Cowboys have been the last decade. And there's no more I can say on Dak. Well, I could, but I think we need to stop making up these conversations just to have something to talk about Dak Prescott. He's not that good. What can you say? He's average, above average, in my opinion. Oh, and as I said, I think on one of our that's not nice to say, my friend, but but I think the last live that I did with the fellas, with KJ and Jean Renault and Harry Bridge, I think it was before the beginning of the season started, right? And I said, their coach he's kind of horrible. How can I say it? All right. Mike McCarthy. Decent coach, horrible clock management. Not even sure if he is making his own plays or calling his own plays or making the decisions when and what type of play is being called. And I said it on the live that if he lost one more game this year due to bad clock management, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd fire him. By my calculations, he's lost at least 2 games, one for sure, possibly another game this year due to bad clock management. Why isn't he gone? I don't know. I guess it would be hard to kind of fire a coach that's 10-4, right? But once again, it comes down to the track record. Him and Aaron Rodgers had it out at Green Bay. He got the Super Bowl early in their career, early in their, excuse me, should have had some tea. But he lost. He won that Super Bowl early in their career together. And then he ran off, and then Aaron Rodgers ran off McCarthy because of the bad play call and the situational football. Yeah, it's just not the bad plays, the bad play calling, or the horrible clock management. It's everything in itself. He just never looked like he knows what's going on. You know, they cut to the camera, cut to the coach, and you'll have a coach like more looking at the sheet, like, you know, trying to rally the troops, looking like he's thinking about, like, look, take for instance, you look at Tomlinson for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they do the shot to him, right? The short shot from the TV to him to the sideline. The guy always look intense, like he's thinking about the next play. Look when they cut to McCarthy. It looked like he's lost. It looked like he don't know what's going on, what quarter it is. You kind of have that Eli Manning stare. The reason they say Eli was so cold, you know, he had ice cold blood running through his veins, because to me, Eli always looked like he don't know if it was the first quarter, the fourth quarter, if they had the ball, or if he had the ball, or if they were winning, or if they were losing. He always had that blank, dull stare. And that's exactly what I get from McCarthy. When they cut to him, I'd be like, I know he the head coach because I know football and I know who he is. But to someone that didn't know he was the head coach, they'd be like, why do they keep showing the special teams coordinator? You get what I'm saying? That guy never looked like he knows what the hell he's doing. Just my opinion. Pretty sure some people can understand what I'm saying, understand where I'm coming from. But I tell you again, if the Dallas Cowboys keep Mike McCarthy next year, they deserve everything that they get, which would be a bunch of L's and probably losing in the first round of the playoff, as they always do. But I talked about people talking about the Cowboys, and look what I did. Talk about the Cowboys. Didn't bring me hundreds of thousands of views, or even hundreds of views. I think I got a few people in here right now. But hey, what can I say? Oh, man. See, Jerry Jones. We can win with him playing like that. He wasn't playing against chopped liver out there. See, it's always an excuse. It's always an excuse. Never stops. Always an excuse for that guy. Why don't we just realize, like, since he's taken reign of the Cowboys, remember at one point he was like a top 5 quarterback. I wouldn't put him in my top 12, I don't think, right now. Let me think about it. Yeah, I probably would put him in my top 10. But he's definitely not my top 5. And if he is in my top 10, he's probably 9th or 10th. And when you get to those guys, those are guys that you possibly can win a Super Bowl with, but you have to pick them because then you're running towards the middle of the pack, and most likely they're better than a mid-pack football player, right? Mid-pack quarterback. So Jonathan Taylor likely out for the year. Coach running back feared he have a high ankle sprain. Yep, high ankle sprains will get you. Rather be low than high. But what about the Colts? Up 3-0. Wow. The Colts were up 33-0. I was at work. I saw that score. I said, wow, that's destruction. Wonder if the other team can get back in the game. They did a little bit more than getting back in the game. They came back to win it. But wow, Jeff Saturday, I feel bad for you, bro. They threw you in the middle of a hurricane eye and you had to work your way out of it. Seemed like you were able to maintain and handle it for a while, but then it became just pure sheer. I don't know. It's a dad coaching Pop Warner, coaching grown men. The only thing is that he's good. He's real good. Yeah, the Colts, oh boy, shaking my head. That was just disgusting. And, they play for him. They get up and play for him. He can coach him up. Don't get me wrong. Jeff Saturday, he's coaching him up. But I think it comes down to situational football, right? They had a couple times where he actually held on to all his timeouts, and you can't save him. Why the hell you holding on to him? Get rid of him. I don't know. Then that goes to Matt Ryan, too. That boy know how to lose some games. I mean, he actually just know how to get up big, then lose. But it has also a lot to do with the defense. Just like in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, it's not like he came out and threw a lot of interceptions that got him back in the game. He had a couple 3-and-outs, maybe a turnover here and there. But it seemed like the defense just shuts down. And no matter whatever they want to do, they just don't do it. And it's like, let's just give up some points. But, that could become lackadaisical too, right? I never played on that level, but, playing AAU basketball, you'd be up, I don't know, let's say you get up by 20 at any point at any time of that game. You get up that much, you become lackadaisical. And then sometimes it's hard to turn it back on when you realize, like, oh boy, these guys are really coming back on us. Can we crank it back to times you just can't crank it back to a level 10? And therefore you lose, And that other team just build momentum. Once momentum hits, it's nothing you can do about it. It's nothing you can do about it. What do you say? Laugh out loud. You killing everybody. Am I? It didn't feel like I was killing everybody, but I'm mashing on people, John. Oh, it really didn't feel like I was killing people, but I guess I am right now. Everybody about to get a little bit of this. So you want something? Come over here. Step in my office. Why you fired? Oh boy. But it's like that. I don't know. It's sports. We put our heart into it. We love it. But we're fans. And what's fans short for? Fanatics. So we're all fanatics when it comes to this, right? We're all a little crazy when it comes to this. So but sometimes I just hate to hear the narrative that's driven about certain teams and certain players through social media and through the big networks. It's just like they want to make you believe something that that your eyes aren't lying to you. And that's where it falls down on the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Lakers. If you just took if you just took all the stuff that you're seeing on TV and all the coverage, you would probably say that these guys are great, or these guys are champions, or they're at least top 4 in their division, and when you look at the standings, you're like, damn, why they talk about these guys so much? Like, to me, the Jacksonville Jaguars should be getting way more coverage than a lot of these teams that's getting on any of these big networks. They mention them in a little piece and move it on, maybe talk about them for a segment, but then they back to the big teams, Man, the Jaguars playing great, man. Travis Etienne looking great. That boy looking great at quarterback with the long hair. Like, Travis looking good, man. I don't get it, though. Did I call him Travis? I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I have to say that was a big win for Messi. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I used to play the game a lot when I was younger. My daughter became a huge soccer fan because of me playing the games when she was younger. And my daughter actually plays soccer. She's doing pretty well. Probably going to go to college for playing soccer. She plays goalie. and she's always loved Messi since she was pretty much could say her first couple words. She's always had a Messi jersey, a Ronaldo jersey. At one time, I think she was stuck in between Ronaldo and Messi. She was younger. Pretty sure Ronaldo with the looks, you being a little bitty girl, you're like, wow, he's a handsome man. And then you got the little bitty Messi, but she rooted for back then, which would be the underdog, the little guy, not as tall, not as famous. But I really wanted Messi to win one. He needed one. And like I told my daughter when the tournament started, that I really think Messi is going to win it because in life, I'm going to talk about Messi, and then we're going to go off from here. In life, oh, there go Patrick Beverly still beefing with Chris Paul. God, that man just don't want to leave him alone. If I'm Chris Paul, I'm going to this Addy pull up and we're going to go at it. And I'm going to tape it. So when I whoop his butt, he can't come back later and say anything. But moving on, like I was saying. I told her that the sports gods, which would be the soccer gods, would shine on Messi because it's very rare when you get someone that's that great and have all the accolades that he have. It's very rare that the basketball gods don't shine on him. And what I mean by that was to let him get the one thing that he needed to be. When you're conversating about who's the GOAT, and you got Pele, and you got Ronaldo, and you got the Italian guy, I forget his name, but he drank him. Yeah, he hurt himself. But the opposite person always says, well, he don't have this. He don't have a World Cup. He got a Copa. He got a La Liga. He got this and that, but he don't have a World Cup. So I knew the soccer gods and the sports gods was going to shine on him, and he was going to do well. I just had that feeling. They got out 2-0. By the time I got to work, it's 2-up. They score. Then Pompey, I forget his name. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. He scores. The man had a hat trick plus another goal. That guy's the future. You want to talk about passing the torch, but that guy's the future. But I knew deep inside somewhere that the sports guys was going to shine on Messi, and he deserved one. Not saying all the time it happens, but most of the time, no one's that great and never get their just due. He got his championship. He got the World Cup, and I'm happy for him. I'm real happy for him. He deserved it. It's the only thing he needed. It's very rare when you have a great player like that where the only thing that they need is one thing to solidify. Because you're like, oh, Ronaldo's the best. Nah, Messi the best. But yeah, Messi don't have that World Cup. Now he have it. He has it. And he's the Don now. I actually did a post about that. He's the GOAT. All right, let me see in this little poll that I put up. I think I questioned make the playoffs this year. With a couple of votes in, you got 75% yes and 25% no. So that's weird. Let me see who this is. People from work. I'm a little boss, so people be calling me and stuff. And like, I'm off today, and you telling me you can't work. I swear. You give young people jobs, and they just, it's always something with them, But like I said, it's Shawn Mac ticker time. I'm gonna try to do this at least once a week. Want to see how it went, how it was, because it's very weird when you don't have a lot of people in. I'll be real. Let you see from behind the scenes. Let you hear from behind the scenes. When you first start off on a live like this, you don't have a lot of people in there, but you gotta fill it in and give all you got just in case somebody hop in, like the few that did talk to where they hopping in watching. I'm giving them something that they can listen to and watch, right? So I just was wondering, how can I fill those times in? So I'm going to be doing a ticker. And then from there, we talk about everything sports related and some other stuff, as I said. We want to talk about a little life stuff. We can do that too. But mostly 99.9% sports. I leave outside problems, world problems for other channels like that. They have multitude of them that you can go watch. But if it's sports related and it ties into real world issues, I'm definitely going to speak on it. I'm definitely going to not be here next time with this bright light that's shining right here over my shoulder. Yeah, it is what it is sometimes. You live and learn. So with that being said, this was Shawn Mac for Ticker Time. All sports questions, all sports related, all sports. and I'll see you later. This is and will always be sports fans only. Peace.